Hello friends, it's Philly and welcome to my kitchen. It is Wednesday, which means it's a Wings Wednesday, and that is what's on the docket for today. So first, I want to make sure everyone is getting on okay. I know a lot of us the past month have noticed some changes once I start a live stream. I did notice today, I think I've got a hair that's right there, pardon that, get that all away. I did notice today, when I set up my live stream, that it said it was set for 6:14. And I don't know where that came because I literally just set it up live. So in any event, I see that I'm up here on my screen. You know, always check the screen. So if you want to say hi and chat, I'd love to chit chat with you. So let me get that all up. But it is Wednesday. It is a beautiful day here in the city. And let me get my air fryer warmed up before we even begin anymore. One thing, if you're ever cooking with an air fryer, you always want to preheat it, just like a normal oven. But I feel like with an air fryer, it's even more important. So I've got it. Hi, Barbara, how are you? So Barbara, I have a question. I was just mentioning that I noticed when I set up my live stream these days, this past month, that it gives an incorrect time, which I think is causing confusion. So were you able to get on pretty easily? Was there anything confusing today? But just let me know, because I want my user experience, my family, my foodie family, to have an easy time connecting. While you're letting me know if that has changed, let me wash my hands real quick, since I just touched my hair. I have my wings all ready to go into the air fryer. So what I first want to do is let you know what I've done up until this point. Today we are making Chinese salt and pepper wings. When I was doing a deep dive into not only picking the recipe, I knew the one I was probably going to pick to adapt to the air fryer because I'd seen the video at least a year or so ago. And that's from Made with Lao. And I put all the information down below in the description. You can check it all out with links. And in the video, Lao's father makes these salt and pepper wings. Now, these are wings that you see on a lot of the area's Chinese restaurant, more Cantonese. But when I was doing my research, that I saw that there's another kind of salt and pepper wings that have a Taiwan heritage as well. So in any event, I don't know. I did the best I could to find history, but that's kind of what I came up with. But what you'll find, just like so many things that we make, is there's lots of different versions. So I'm mostly using the recipe from Made with Lao, but I did have to adapt things for the air fryer based upon how we do, because obviously these lovely wings are not going into a bunch of oil. They're going to be going into that oven over there and get a wonderful crispiness. So there's some things we had to adjust. Also, in my obsession with making the perfect salt and pepper wing, I was also noticing in some recipes and some other food content creators mentioning that oftentimes there's some sugar added that gives a little bit of sweetness to help balance the salty and the spiciness of the white pepper, which, by the way, you can use black pepper, but if you have white pepper, a lot of you that follow me know that I love white pepper for many different purposes. It's just kind of like another kind of pepper that's nice to have in your cupboard. So let me get you started on how we did this. And let's see here. Barb said it was hard to get on. I know. And I don't think it's your Wi-Fi. Something is different the way YouTube is structuring its live stream. It doesn't look any different on my end, but I'm noticing when I first start, I can usually see the live stream right up on my laptop where I follow the chat, and that's not happening anymore. So something's definitely different. So my apologies that it has been a little tricky. I'll try to do some research as to finding out why that's happening and see if there's anything on my end I can do. So thank you for being steadfast. And Archie, welcome to the stream. This is the Wings Club, and the only membership you need is a hungry heart. That's all I'm asking for, is a hungry heart. And these are some big wings. So before I tell you about how I did them, let me show you these beauties that have had quite the treatment over the past 24 hours. So let me tell you a little bit about that. Oh, and if you notice real quick, they've got little slits on them. And I'll tell you, that was a tip that Lau's father talks about, so I'm going to give you that tip as well. But first, let me tell you a little bit about the recipe. So let me go on here. So the marinade. So last night I marinated the wings. Before I did so, I dried them off. I wasn't as fastidious as I usually am, just to dry them in the fridge. But they did mention the fact that the more wet your wings are, it kind of sounds like something, the more wet your wings are, the less the marinade can have the effect because it's diluting it. And so the other thing they suggested was on the flat portion, which you know mine are connected, that's how I like to get them. You don't have to get yours this way. You can get them in drums and flats like typically they are, but I love cooking them this way. But on the flat portion, he recommends making some slits down on the meat. Now he talks about in the video that I've watched that it had to do with cooking and flavor. So we're not deep frying them, but I did want to make sure that it helped the marinade get in there. And then on the drum portion, you poke it with that sharp knife in a few different areas, again, to help the marinade get in, and also apparently with cooking. Now again, that's more so if you're doing it in oil than the air fryer. So my air fryer is ready. So let me quickly tell you about what we do with the marinade. In the marinade, there was a ½ teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon sugar, a ½ teaspoon of white pepper. Again, if you don't have it, you could use black. 1 tablespoon of light soy sauce, a tablespoon of oyster sauce, a tablespoon of cooking wine. I used mirin, and a ½ tablespoon of dark soy sauce. And then you mix that up. It's not very much, but so I put it in a Ziploc bag and I really smushed it. You saw the picture that I put on social media that shows you how it looked. I took all the air out and really, really massaged it well into the wings, and then flipped them, I don't know, like every 6 to 8 hours. When I was up and thinking about it, I would flip the bag so that there was a little bit that would come down. And that's what happened until noon today. So I'm going to get these in the oven since it is ready to go, because I want to get them started. We have a couple other things to do, but you know it takes a little bit. I'm doing something a little bit different today. I'm not going to be spraying the tops of the wings, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. I'm just going to spray the bottom here so that they won't stick as much, even though it's a non-stick basket. You know, I feel like with so much nonstick, even though it's not chipping, it just loses some of it. So now I'm just going to nestle these all here, and they're sizzling because it's nice and hot. I'm going to nestle these in. And let me get back to the chat too so I can see what y'all are saying. Take my recipe away there. And I have 6 here. I have 6 very large wings here. And of course, that includes drum and flat. So, so we've got all parts here. And that little tip you always could remove, I don't. I actually, you know, I don't really eat anything from it, but I actually like, it's helpful to hold and tear apart. I'm not going to be spraying these this time, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So let me go get these in. Okay, and then I'm going to put it at 380 for 28 minutes. That seems to be a sweet spot. And I'm going to put shake in, and let's let that go. So when the beeper goes off, I will show you them and I will flip them. So let me let you know about why. We are going to be a little more fancy for this. We are going to have a couple of applications. Now, I am going to do it full out the way it is in Made with Lau. However, I will say, and I'm wondering if the final step, while I think it'll be absolutely delicious, if you were really rushed and didn't feel like doing the final step, I bet you they'd be tasty at the final step. But what we're going to be doing after they're done cooking is we are going to put some aromatics, heat it up in some oil, and then we're going to take those wings and toss them in those aromatics. So let's talk about those aromatics. We have here some sweet red pepper, and we've got now, they were wanting something a little more spicy, but I had a jalapeno, so that's what we'll be using. But it could be a jalapeno, it could be habanero, it could be, if you're using a Thai pepper, those are quite spicy, so be careful. But just a spicier pepper. We've got a clove of garlic. I've got a little bit of shallot. That's all I had left, so that's what I'm using. And then we have a green onion, and I had an extra white because you actually want some of the whites, and then we'll use some of the green for garnish. So while I'm chatting about what I did at noon today, let me get chopping. And I just think, I don't know, it's just, everything's going to be kind of the same size, fairly thinnish. So I'm just going to get this sliced up. So at noon, I came home, well, it's actually afternoon. It was probably more like 1. But I came home because school's out here, at least for the school that I am a teacher at. And I dried the wings. I took them out of the marinade. I dried them very well. And this is, of course, not what they say to do because they're frying them and they're actually tossing on some flour before they deep fry them. But what I did was I took them out. I dried them very well. And then I made a mixture, and I put that down below in the description of my amounts. So when you're trying to adjust the seasonings, the technique, and everything for air frying, I was also trying to, I have a feeling these are going to be high in sodium, but I didn't want them to be too salty. So I'm trying to like reduce some things a little bit because of the application of how we're going to be doing it. I wanted to give them a dry rub where I could put some baking powder, which I know helps dry out my wings and gives me a better final crispy product, which was really important to me. And so what I did was I mixed some salt, white pepper, some sugar, some garlic powder, and I have the amounts below, as I mentioned before, and some baking powder. I whisked that all up first, and then I tossed the wings, made sure and got everything coated, and then put them on the rack, just like I showed you, and let those dry the rest of the time today. So depending upon how my day might have looked, I could have done that in the morning, but because I was getting home early, I just elected to wait. So again, I'm just slicing all of these aromatics. So I'm on my shallots now. And that's kind of where we are now. And since we're going to be adding a little bit of oil with the aromatics at the end step, I decided I did not want to do a lot of oiling on there because I just want them to be super crispy. The oil does help them crisp up, but I don't know, I'm just going to try something different. Part of it, I'm not going to lie, one of the things that's nice about the air fryer is it does help make it a little healthier. So I thought, let me just save the oil for that last toss with the aromatics. I'm just going to use a neutral oil, so there's no flavor. I'm just separating these little rings of the shallot. I don't know that that's important, but it seems like the right thing to do. And now I'm going to get these green parts, and these I'll be setting aside for later to garnish. And the other thing I'm going to be making is a little cucumber salad. It's a smashed cucumber salad that many of you might have seen on social media over the past year or two. And it's one that Hubs and I really enjoy when we're having kind of the Asian flavors. It's a nice side dish, nice and crunchy and cool. And so I'll show you how I make that. But let's see how everyone's doing. How is everyone's Wednesday? Does it feel like Wednesday, or do you feel like it still feels like Monday? How are y'all doing? And what do y'all have for dinner tonight? So Arch, I know you've already eaten, and I haven't had a chance to see what you had on Twitter, but what'd you have tonight? And Barb, what are you planning on eating? And Barb, I got the biggest kick about what you'd said about the whole thing on Twitter, which of course we all call Twitter just because a lot of us have been on there for a long time. And that's just what I'm accustomed to calling it. So I'm always going to consider it the Bird app. Ooh, some of these are a little spicy. My eyes are smarting just a bit. I need a little drink of water. There's a lot. Well, these are aromatics is one thing I'm going to tell you, because there's a lot of aromaticing going on. And Hubs is not going to be here tonight. He would really scowl at that word. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And you're welcome to say hi down in the chat. We love having a little conversation while cooking. But if you prefer just staying where you are and watching from afar, I appreciate you visiting and hope you visit again. I like to make lots of different kinds of foods. Wednesdays oftentimes are wings. I'm not sure how long I will be doing the Wings Wednesday. It's been for quite some time. I feel like it's been at least a year at this point. But it's been so fun discovering lots of different wings and how to make them in the air fryer, and they've been so delicious. So I'm just chopping up this garlic into kind of a mince. There we go. Okay. So we've got our garlic, our red pepper, our jalapeno, our green onion for later, and our whites of our green onion and our shallots. So those are aromatics. The other thing I did set aside for once we're tossing these in the oil after they've released some of their yumminess into the oil and flavored the oil, I'm going to sprinkle this mixture that has equal parts salt, sugar, and white pepper. Again, Lao does not have the sugar element, but in doing my research, I was finding that that sugar element helps kind of balance the salt and the pepper and kind of makes the whole flavor experience quite delightful. So I am going to be doing that. And when I do cook that, I'm going to be cooking it here on my new conduction burner that my son gave me at Christmas. So you'll be able to see it right here. And Barb said, it's always Twitter to me, not sure what he's doing with the privacy likes. I have no idea. That makes no sense to me. When I saw that, I actually was going to go in and I just shoot it away because I'm like, I don't even want to bother. And Archie said, as the air fryer is on, then can we not have fries with the wings, Phil? Just a few? Yes. And well, I wish. And you know what I've been keeping in my, I don't know if you eat them a lot over across the pond, Archie, but I like to keep tater tots. Tater tots, frozen tater tots are fabulous, especially in the air fryer. So that's one of our favorite things to throw in if we're having a burger or something like that, or a sandwich and we want something crispy and potatoey on the side. So that's a great thing. So my aromatics are ready. I'm going to get my smashed cucumbers ready. In fact, let me put these on a plate because I'm going to need this to do my smashed cucumber. So let's get these on a plate. There we go. I'm going to leave the green onions here because I feel like notoriously I'm going to toss them into the oil when they should really, the green part should wait till the end. All right. I'm also going to put the garlic on top of the shallots because that is what Lao suggests putting in first. And it's all going to go in within like 15 seconds, but I'm just going to get those there to remind me. And then I'm going to get out, let me shoo some of these extras out. Although you could add garlic to this cucumber, smashed cucumber I'm making, and sometimes I do, but it's also nice without. It's good with or without the garlic. The garlic does give it, especially raw garlic, that little bit of a pungency to it, but it's really nice without. So I've got some cucumbers. Some of you who might have noticed my lunch, I used some of this one. These are Persian cucumbers. You can use a regular cucumber or the English ones, which are a little bit wider, but their skins aren't as tough. So if you're using one of the normal cucumbers, I would recommend peeling them because the skins are a little tough. These are nice and thin and they work nicely. So this is the fun part about making a smashed cucumber, is you get to smash it. So I'm taking off the ends and then I'm just going to be cutting this in half and then having my way with it. So it's kind of a great thing to do if you have any frustration. And actually, no, I'm just going to cut in half. You don't have to cut it half lengthwise, but I'm just going to do that because I feel like it. So, and then I'm going to get something to smash with. Now, you can really use anything. You can use, the back of a pan or pot or something. Just be careful. Make sure it's on wood so you don't ruin your surface or your pan. But I have this great meat tenderizer, and I love it because it's metal. So I do have a wood one, but I tend to use this one because things don't absorb in it. Now, you don't want to smush them completely, but you just want to kind of get them pressed a little bit. Let me show you how that looks so you can see. Here's a normal one, not smashed. Here's the one. You can see how I indented it. See how that's the smash. So you don't want to obliterate it. I know you might want to if you've had a bad day, but we just want to smush it a bit. And what will happen is it'll help it absorb the flavors of the sauce. There we go. All right, and that's all. That's all there is to it. Now I'm going to cube this up a little bit more so there's nicer bite-sized pieces, and then it'll be ready to go into our sauce once we make our sauce. So our cucumbers are all set to go. And now for our sauce, let me move the aromatics there. We are going to need a few different ingredients. We're going to need some ponzu. I have some Korean red pepper flakes for a little spice. I have some sugar, and I have some lime. The other thing I'm going to add is some cilantro, but as many of you know, I like keeping that in my freezer, and so I'm going to grab that at the very end. I don't really measure for this. By the way, ponzu is a citrus soy sauce. It's a lot of times you'll notice it in a dipping sauce, and it's just nice. It has, I've not tasted in a while, so let me take a little taste and I can kind of tell you, because a lot of times I add it in things. Yes, it has the soy flavor, but it's a little lighter, and it has definitely some citrus, like it's a citrus soy sauce. It's quite nice. It's a really nice flavor. So I'm going to put what I'm guessing is going to be, it's probably a couple tablespoons. It's probably a couple tablespoons of the ponzu in a bowl. And then I don't measure. I'll try to let you know I did. I'm going to sprinkle probably a half teaspoon of sugar, if that. I'm going to give a nice squeeze of lime to add a little more citrus. That's about a quarter of a lime. Get that squeezed in, or squeezing, if you will. Okay. And then we can check this also, because when you don't measure, sometimes you need to adjust some things, and that's okay too. And then I am going to add a little bit of this Korean red pepper powder, which are Korean red pepper flakes. And these are delicious. And I think it's also called gochugaru. Excuse me. I don't want to be too crazy, so I'm probably putting like a pinch in. And let me now stir it. I don't have my cilantro in yet, but I just want to kind of get an idea of the flavor so far. I want to let that sugar dissolve. You could do honey if you wanted to, or agave. That's nice. I like that. I don't want it too sweet. So I think that's perfect. It's salty, sweet. Doesn't have that much spice, so I think I might add some more spice. Let me get the cucumbers in first, and I'm going to get the cilantro. I feel like the cilantro does such a nice job of freshening it up. I know the cucumbers are fresh, but it just gives that pungency, which I know not everyone loves. You could just decide to put green onions in there if you choose. I do like the cilantro in it. You could also just use parsley, Italian parsley if you wanted to. All right, so let me get the cilantro. Ooh, my wings are calling my name, so let me sprinkle some and let's show you how they look so far. They're halfway done. Oh, we're halfway there. There we go, put some cilantro. It is the best thing. Freeze your herbs, I tell you, especially the leafy ones. Again, I don't freeze rosemary or thyme, but I freeze parsley, tarragon, dill, cilantro, basil. I freeze all those. The one that doesn't do as well is the basil, but it just kind of gets really dark once it comes to, but I just know that, but you still get that good basil-y flavor. So we'll leave this here. Let's go check out the wings. All right, let's see how we're doing. Let's check. Oh my, look at that. Look at that color. Wow, now that color, there's some sugar that was in the marinade, and you can see that with the color that came through. I'm actually going to reduce the temperature because I don't want it to get any darker than that. So if I did this again, I probably would cook them at 360 instead of 380. And I will make those adjustments on my description. So let me take this and go down. I'm going to go down to 350. Actually, whoopsie. There we go. Oh, and I didn't flip them. Oh my goodness gracious, friends. I do all this and then I forget to flip them. Let me get my tongs. Oh, you know what? It wouldn't be a fill stream if there wasn't a fill mistake. Just look how gorgeous those are. And this is one of the reasons I like getting these all one piece, because this part is just so stinking easy, right? Like, look how easy that is. You just take it and you flip it instead of flipping all these little wings. Okay. There we go. There we go. This part can get a little bit more brown. And what does tend to happen in the air fryer is this is the part that gets the most brown, what's facing up. But I am going to reduce it because I just don't want it to be too much. So, you know, as any of you have been here on my wing streams, one of the things I desire to get out of my wings is a super crispy wing. That's super important. And I want it to be also nicely browned. But there was a couple of streams, or I think there was a curry one, where there were a lot of spices on the wings. I'm pretty sure they burnt. Now there's really no spice on there except for salt, except for pepper, the white pepper, but I think the color is due to the sugar that was in the marinade and a little bit of the sugar that was in the seasoning. So that's what's getting that caramelization. So very good, very yummy. All right. Oh, thank you, Archie. Barb, you have never had cilantro. Really? I know, Arch, I'm so sorry about the lack of fries. I'm always going to leave you down unless it's a fry stream, which maybe I'm going to have to do. So I added the cilantro, which I can't believe you've never had cilantro. It's just such a workhorse for me. We, especially in the spring and summer, we do a lot of, you know, Mexican-inspired dishes, and I make a lot of pico de gallo. That is probably, I just make that a lot to put in tacos just to dip the chips in, and that's just the, you know, tomatoes. I a lot of times like to use red onion, but you can use white onion, and then lime juice, jalapeno, and cilantro. And to me, cilantro just makes it. So now I'm just tossing this smashed cucumber, and that way, and you want to make this a little ahead of time so that it has a chance to absorb the flavors. So this will be perfect. And I do want to have a little taste to see if my flavors are right. I'm telling you, it is so good with the cucumbers. In fact, Hubs is not a big cucumber guy, and he loves them this way. So I'm going to put some more spice. So I put probably another pinch in there because I couldn't even taste the spice. And so I would give that a 0 spice. And it's funny, sometimes that can really kick up, but that one wasn't then. Let me try it now. Much better, much better. Okay, it's probably still like a 3 or a 4. I don't want this to be crazy hot, but I do want it to have good flavor. So that is our cucumber salads. Let me show that to you. I don't know if you can all see that. There you go. So we'll have that. Let me put that to the side until we're ready. Now, what I'd like to do is get our aromatics ready so that when our wings are ready, they can go right in, because we have 11 minutes left. Okay, let me tidy up a second. Put these back. There we go. So Archie, did you tell me what you, and Barb, did you tell me what you have made or were making for dinner? I don't think you did. Barb was saying she's heard mixed things about cilantro. So the story goes, and I don't mean story because it's truth, that some people, and it's a genetic thing, that when they eat cilantro, it tastes like soap to them. And it's funny because Hubs is on the fence on whether he's one of those people or not. It's weird. He definitely doesn't hate cilantro, and he's become accustomed to cilantro. But like I've always liked cilantro from day one. And whereas I don't know that he's always loved it. He didn't like hate it. He just didn't love it. But he's gotten accustomed to me using a lot, and he likes how I use it and likes the food I put it in. So I think he's almost acquired a taste. Fun fact, when I went to college, all those years ago, I did not like beer at all. But in college, that was the least expensive thing to be able to purchase if you were going to consume any alcohol. So I grew to acquire a taste of beer because of finances. Everything else was too expensive. So sometimes some people acquire a taste. What I like about it is it just gives this herby freshness that parsley can give you a kind of, it gives you a herby freshness, but it doesn't give you the same one of cilantro. You should try it. And if I tried it, if I were you trying it, I would make a pico de gallo to try it the first time, because to me it makes it makes that dish. I also always add cilantro in my guacamole. So you'll have to try it, Barb, and you have to let me know what you think. So I'm going to put my sugar over here and get this jalapeno away till the next time. Speaking of beer now, I do love a beer. And as you know, one of my favorite ones to have, especially this time of year, but especially with Asian dishes, actually any dishes, one of my favorite pizza beers is Peroni, which is an Italian beer. And it's super light and crisp and just delightful. So we're going to have one of these. And let's get our aromatics ready. So I'm going to put them over here, and let me bring this way, and I'll bring y'all in. Now I feel like every time I use this, it's always talking at me. So let me first get through that. I don't know if I've had a stream where it's actually worked the way it was supposed to and not barked at me. Okay. Is that right? No. See, here we go. I'm trying to remember how I do this. See, it seems locked, and I don't know why it's locked. All right. This happened last time. All right, let me see here. There's got to be something I'm doing right. Let's see. It's just chirping at me, friends. And I used the, oh, it turned off. Yay. Okay. Oh, I got it working. There we go. It doesn't like me. I don't really know what I'm doing wrong. All I know, if I keep pushing it enough, eventually it works. And this is not the fault of IKEA. I don't know its language apparently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this heated up. I'm going to go up. This heats quite quick. I'm going to bring it up to a 7, I think. And we'll probably have to turn it down. Let me get some oil. I'm going to use canola oil. There we go. And Barb said that I know it is hard to describe the flavor. Yes, you should try it. You should try it. There's an herbaceousness. It's not like dill. It's not like tarragon. It's most like parsley, but it has an edge to it. And cilantro is, oh, this is already getting warm. Cilantro is what's grown from the coriander seed, and coriander is a spice. The seed is ground up and makes coriander spice. So it's just interesting knowing that connection. But and it will flower eventually, like any of those herbs do. So this is already getting warm. So I'm going to bring you all over just for this aromatic part. Let me bring you over here. Let's get a little closer so you can see. There we go. All right. I'm going to get myself a little spatula. Okay. Yep, I think it's getting ready. So they said to put a couple tablespoons. I'll probably put like 1. That's probably more than 1, but it's probably less than 2. I have trouble when I'm cooking on my own to use a lot of oil, which is funny because I actually don't have as much trouble using butter, but oil, for whatever reason, more problems. So first thing, let me make sure that gets up enough. So this is all going to be super quick, and we're going to turn off the heat. So because we want to just flavor this oil here. So the first thing we're going to do is put in the garlic and the shallots. A little, oh, already just great smell. Just great smell. Just let that go for a little bit. I don't want my garlic to burn. And then I'm going to add the rest. And that'll bring down the temperature. Whoopsie, don't want that to go in. I wish I would have, in retrospect, sliced my jalapenos thinner. I'm not going to lie. They're a little bit thick, so if I did it again, I would recommend doing them a little bit thinner. It's spitting at me a bit. The water content in the oil is reacting. I'm not salting it because we're going to be adding seasoning right before we put the wings in, okay? And that is all she wrote. So now I'm going to take that off and put that on 0. There we go, and we'll let that continue to hang out until the wings are done. All right. It smells delicious. It's just got a nice freshness with the veggies and, you know, the onion and garlic and shallot, green onion, garlic, and shallot, just going to be very delicious. Here's that mixture that we're going to be using. And, of course, these go on the top. So I'm actually going to put this here. There we go, so we can get that. All right, so I'm going to move you all back so that we can toss everything. Okay, let's get this here. All right. So coming up, by the way, I'm going to be gone for a while. I am very excited leaving this weekend with my sister for a trip with some girlfriends up to Maine, to Acadia National Park. It's my second time there. It's my sister's first time there. One of her friends has a place there, which was where we're going to be staying, and it's to celebrate early in anticipation of her 60th birthday, my sister's 60th birthday, which is happening this summer. So planned this girls' trip, very excited, planning on hopefully eating some lobster, and also just having some wonderful hikes and walks and seeing the gorgeous land that is there and the ocean and the mountains. It is just delightful there. If you've never been, highly recommend. And I know, were you, Barb, have you ever gone up to Acadia? I'm just curious about that, if you've gone, or up to Maine for anything. And what's your favorite beer, by the way, Barb? What's your favorite beer? I'm going to just take a peek. Oh, they are getting dark. My word. All right. Well, I'm glad I turned it down. I'm definitely going to reduce the temperature. And again, they're just darker than I would like. You know, we're visual people. I'm sure they will taste really good. So I will be away for almost a week. But I do have a little surprise in store for everyone on my channel. I'm going to be dropping a video without me even being here, but I can set it up and schedule it on, I think it's either Saturday or Sunday. It might be Sunday. And it's going to be a test kitchen one on these noodles, which I've been seeing around the stores. So I got 2 boxes and checked them out. I'm giving you my review and letting you know how I fixed them, how I zhuzhed them up, and kind of what my final thoughts are of these kind of convenience noodles. They're similar to like a ramen, but a little different take, a different width, and different flavors. So that is going to be coming up this weekend. So you can be on the lookout for that. All right, so I'm going to now put this on low since my wings are almost done. So I'm going to just, let's see. Oh, now it doesn't want to, there we go. Okay, I'm going to put on 1. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put it like on 3. There we go. And we're going to go get them. And we're going to put them on in because it is about ready to go. So there were 30 seconds left, so I can take that out and let me just show you. Oh my goodness. I can put this down here so you can all see. Let's a second. There you go. Now they did get a little darker than I would like, but they look, they puffed up, they look crispy. And now let's get them finished up. And I will let you know how they taste. Alrighty. And again, we didn't add any oil to this. Remember, just at the bottom. So this is going to be a little tricky, putting all of these in here. So I think what my plan is I'm going to do 4 at a time and get them kind of tossed around. And then I'm going to put them, let me get this right here, and then we put them on the plate. Let me get that plate over, and then I'll get the other 2 put in. So all I'm trying to do is get these kind of in, put that there, hopefully you can all see that. Just trying to get these into the aromatics so they're able to flavor. The other thing they recommend doing is seasoning a little bit with that salt, pepper, and sugar. So I am going to do that. So just looking, they just are a little dark. I mean, that's my thing. So, and that's on me because I was trying to cook them similarly how I do. And so I I would definitely recommend reducing that. So I just want to give these another spritz with this and get these flavored, get that oil on them. So there's layers of flavor. There's the marinade, there's the dry marinade, and now we have these aromatics. So let's get that. I'm going to actually leave that one out so it has a chance to cool a little bit and get these going. Yeah, they're just a bit dark. I'm not gonna lie. They almost look like blackened wings, and they are not blackened wings. But I'm sure they will taste good. But you know what? Y'all can learn from my mistakes, and that's just a visual thing. I don't expect them to taste burnt, but I will let you know if they do. They are crispy, that I can tell you. And they are going to be delicious inside, that I can tell you, because I know with that marinade and the flavor and the way it cooks in the air fryer, they're just so juicy. Like it's really remarkable how delicious they cook up. Okay, I'm going to try to make these look somewhat pretty. There we go. And now I'm going to take this, I'm going to turn this off, and just want to kind of flick some of these things around. Get some of the red peppers, get all this good flavor. I'm going to get at least a jalapeno here, that, maybe some shallots there, and just kind of, there we go, get all this yumminess on here. Okay. Put this back here. I do have a jalapeno. I'd like to, oh, they are hot. Make no mistake. Just tidy that up a little bit and get my green onions. There we go. And I'll show y'all how that looks. There we go. Okay, I'm put some of the green onions on mine for me to try. Let me show you. Let me get this unplugged. Put over here. Give us a little bit of room and get our cucumber salad. There we go. All right, let me show you. Show you how those look. And I'm going to bring you in the regular light so you can see. Because they are dark, make no mistake, but a lot of it is caramelization. So let me just show you. There you go. You can see. There they are. I know Hubs is going to get home late, so we'll see what we got. But you can just see that. Oh, they got so crispy. Just a little dark. That's the only thing I'm not sure about. So I will let you know if we taste that or not. So let's keep these here. Let me get you all back. And let's try this yumminess. All right, sorry for that. It was a little bit of a shaky landing there. All right, my towel fell. Let's see, now that one has been given ample time, and I'm gonna put a little bit of this cucumber salad on there. You do want a slotted spoon because it is quite saucy. I probably didn't even need as much of the ponzu as I did. But you know, when you just wing it, you just kind of start pouring. So I'm gonna put that down. And let me give her a try. Okay. So, oh my gosh, it is hot, ripping hot. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, let's see. Oh. Quite hot. Mmm. Mmm. Very complex from that marinade. very surprising. For how much white pepper is in the marinade and in the seasoning and then more additional seasoning, it's amazing that it's not more peppery. Do you see how hot that is? It is, I was just expecting more punch. So these aren't spicy. And I've used in popcorn white pepper and expected it to be, and it has a bit of punch, nice punch, perfect punch. But yeah, they're definitely salty enough. I'm just surprised that I don't taste more pepper. They're so easy to eat. They're like just a well-seasoned wing. They have a little bit different texture on their skin because the skin was marinating, and you can kind of tell that. I'm just trying to give you some flavor profile. The soy comes through. It's interesting, the aromatics, I'm going to put a little pepper on there. The aromatics are not coming through, which is shocking to me. Like I would have thought I would taste more garlic or onion. I think it's because of the complex marinade. I like that. I like putting, you know, the jalapeno on there to get a more punchy taste. They're very, first of all, I've never had salt and pepper wings in a restaurant, so I have nothing to compare it to. For how much flavor I put in here, I'm just surprised that there's not like anything more pronounced, if that makes sense, but that might be part of their appeal. I do not taste the sugar by any stretch, but it just, maybe that helps it seem more balanced and not, I don't have a fork, so I'm just gonna use my finger. They're very good. They're not, I will always be honest with you, they're not my favorite wing. There's nothing bad. They taste, there's nothing not to like. They're just like a salty umami a wing. But like the fish sauce wings I made the other month, those I went over the moon on. So they're a very good wing. They're more in line with like lemon parmesan, not lemon parmesan, garlic parm, or something like that, which is very yummy, very different than garlic parm. But I like a punchier wing. What can I say? And they are a bit labor intensive, you know, so if you're a salt and pepper wing or chicken or shrimp person, I would love to know your opinion with that because I don't have a base, you know, experience with them, but they are very good. I just like some of the other ones I've made better. That's it. So Lau, thank you for the recipe. I actually would love to have these fried now because I wonder if maybe this is a wing that just isn't translating as well. Again, it doesn't taste bad. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't taste bad. It's just not, I was hoping it would be, I'd be over the moon with all the steps I put in there and all the flavors we put in there. And they're just kind of a salty, umami, tasty wing. Does that make sense? But they're very juicy. The outside got crisp. I will say it didn't get as crisp with me also not oiling it. So maybe I would spray a little bit of oil on there, except for just on the bottom. I don't know. So some things I would do differently, but let me know. What do you think? And what are some things you would do differently? If you have made these before, please let me know your tips, and so that we can all share them with our community. But that's it. So there we go. So friends, again, I will not be doing a live stream for another few weekends, and I believe that live stream will, you'll have to look at my schedule. It's either going to be the French one, which is going to be fish, but I think that might be the last weekend of the month. So if it's not that one, then it's going to be there's a burger one, I think. So sorry, I'm like blanking right now, and I don't have Hubs to check on his phone. But you're not going to see me for a little bit, but I'll be dropping a video of the awesome noodles. So please let me know if you try this. Please let me know what sings for you when you have salt and pepper chicken at your Chinese restaurant so that I can know how I might adjust it. And Barb and Archie, thank you so much for coming on to chat. And friends from watching afar, thank you so much. And until we eat again, see you friends. Have a great week, and I will see you when I return from Maine. So bye friends. Have a good one.